I always thought about harming myself.
I'm shy. I struggled with making friends.
I never thought I could do anything. I have extremely low self esteem.
Lately, I've been eating my pain away. Just throw it back up. I've been struggling to lose weight.
Somebody said I don't fit in just because I wear my hair the way I like it.
1 out of 5 American girls suffer from mental health problems. Don't be that girl. Talk to someone.
Those thoughts I had are long gone, for I have a future I need to get to.
In order to get better, I had to do better. I learned how to make friends.
I believe in myself. That's when everyone else did, I set an example.
Instead of me eating everything, I started watching my calories. The weight is falling off.
I went to change my hair, but I decided it was for me. It's for me.
A PSA from the Curvy Girl Project.
And good morning. Welcome to Expose Under the Sun, sponsored by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. I'm your host, Darwin Griffin, and we've got a very, very informative half an hour that we'll be spending with my very special guest and friend, state representative from the 14th Congressional District here in the state of Michigan, Mr. Donovan McKinney. But before we get started, just to do a few little announcements real quick. One, our show is live. Our calling numbers are area code 313-868-0342, 313-868-0351, 313-868-4336. Website is www.tv33whpr.com. You're watching us live from the phenomenal cities of Detroit, Michigan, under the auspices of the Honorable Mayor Mike Duggan, as well as the phenomenal city of Highland Park, Michigan, under the auspices of the Honorable Mayor Glenda McDonald. Before we get started, just wanted to say that I'm one of the Black Brick Masters, and this is a multi-generational group that was started a few years ago. And what we're doing is that we're having a conversation for the ages. And if you've got sons, grandsons, husbands, brothers, godfathers that you would like to go and get an opportunity to talk with the different generations from. We're going to have representation from the millennials, we're going to have from the baby boomers, from the Gen X's. So if you'd like to come and get an opportunity to kind of get some good food for thought, we're going to have a conversation this coming Saturday, the 20th of January, and it's going to be held at New St. Paul Church. And it's located right there at 15340 Southfield Freeway, just north of where the intersection is of Finkel, Southfield, and Grand River, where they all intersect at. But it's going to be from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock, so you don't want to miss this conversation. Again, we call it Building Black Brick Masters. And what we're looking at is that people don't really realize, too, as we talk about all the time, it takes a village. We want to make certain that the foundation for that village is going to be strengthened and it's going to be fortified with love and with spirituality. So again, don't miss that this coming Saturday, the 20th at New St. Paul Church, located again at 15340 Southfield Freeway. But the other thing I wanted to say too is that I guess that looking at my special guest shirt, we've had a couple of sporting events that I think we'd be a little remiss if we don't, pay respect to. One, congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines. Even though I'm a diehard Spartan, but I was rooting for Maize and Blue to beat Washington. So again, I do want to congratulate the Wolverines of the University of Michigan and for being the national champions. I mean, they had a real interesting season, but they culminated that season with a win, especially the win when it really, really mattered for the citizens of the state of Michigan, as well as the students that were just, I couldn't believe just how they came out so strong on one of the coldest days of the year to go and participate in the parade, the celebration they did down State Street in Ann Arbor at the campus of U of M. So again, and I saw people out there with no shirts on, riding down the street on the, in the caravan. But I was like, hey, more power to them. But and then we had another sporting event, which was this past Sunday, which I had the pleasure of going to along with one of my SANS, person that pledged Alpha Phi Alpha with me back at Michigan State, AD, and we got a chance to see the Detroit Lions play their first playoff game in almost, I think it's been close to 30 years ago. And, this was a game for the ages as well, because of the fact that we were facing a team that was the team that we traded our quarterback to the Los Angeles Rams, and we received their quarterback that plays with us now. So it was kind of like a lot of people were kind of saying it was almost like a matchup between the former quarterback that the Detroit Lions had to the new quarterback that the Detroit Lions have. So we were victorious. I was so happy to be in the stands. The fans were just, they were just so energized. And even though the temperatures outside were in the, I think, freezing, single digits, I think when I left out to go back out to my truck, when I got in my truck, the temperature was like 0 degrees out. And I was like, but the heat that was generated in the stands with all those fans didn't matter. We had a lot of energy, and we definitely kept everybody invigorated. And we're going to be facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this coming Sunday at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
But again, go Lions. That pride that we have in Detroit, the grit that we have in Detroit, let's hope that resonates throughout the stands in the Lions Stadium, and we will go and bring another victory home to all of the H's fans. And it's so funny, I just wanted to make this last comment, that somebody said that it was like the same old Lions, but it's like, nope, it's now people are happy because it's my Lions. They represent their Lion fandom. And I was going to wear my shirt that I wore at the stadium the other day. But again, I'm like, hey, even though I bleed green and white, but now I'm Honolulu blue and gray. So, that's just been an infusion, that mixes with all different blood types. So, again, go Lions. We hope that we bring another victory home in the playoffs. But my one of my favorite state reps, I'll say one of my favorite male state reps up in Lansing, is this young man. I've watched him, grow when it comes down to the work he does in the community. He and I sit on a couple of boards together, but he has grown so much, and he has really become the representative in the Lansing House that I knew he could be. And it's evident that the people in his district knew he could be as well. And my special guest represents the 14th Congressional District. First time state representative, Mr. Donovan McKinney. Donovan, thank you for coming on the show today. And I know you're representing your fraternity in terms of, say, Phi Beta Sigma. So yes. I'm going to bring up the Alphas, and you can bring up the Sigmas.
Go Mob. J9, we just celebrated our Founders Day. 110th to be exact. We were founded January 9th, 1914.
I was gonna say I cheated because I saw your scarf. They
Yeah,
had
yeah, I got my
1914 on the
scarf,
right.
1914.
So I could have impressed you and said that 1914 when you started. But
But
go
shout out to all of the D9. You know, a lot of folks have their Founders Day recently. I know the AKs just celebrated one, Deltas as well.
Sure did.
So, you know, I think the Kappas did too earlier. Yeah.
Last year, I believe.
And then you guys are coming up, right?
We've got one coming up.
Yeah.
Because we're 1906.
Yeah.
So we've got a celebration, but it's not going to be for another 2 more years.
Okay.
You know, as far as say our 100th. Our what will that be? I'm trying to do my math real quick now. We're talking about we started in 1906.
Yeah.
So it's like we've got 100 plus 107. Don't let me sit up here and go and say it's like 10, 20. 123rd.
Yep.
Our 123rd anniversary. So again, you know, it's been a long time. It was a long time coming. We've got a lot of history when it comes down to D9, when it comes to all of the other fraternities and sororities that were established, you know, since we started.
Yeah.
And we've got some good representation for all men and women of all different walks in life.
Yeah.
So that's the important part. But we're brothers and we're sisters all under the skin.
Yeah.
That's what matters more
That's
than anything
true.
else.
That's true. I do have to mention this. You know, I know you couldn't say it because you're a Spartan, but go blue. You gave a shout out to the national champion. You know, I got my gear on, national champs, y'all. You know, who's better than us? Nobody. That's our tagline. Michigan versus everybody. You know, they put us through the ringer this year, and we won every game, 15-0. I knew we were going to win when we beat Michigan State 49-0.
Have to rub that in. Have to rub that
49-0.
in.
The largest margin of victory in the team's history, right? In terms of the rivalry. And, you know, we went in to beat Penn State and then beat Ohio State. Then we, you know, went on to beat Iowa for the Big Ten championship. And then we had to go beat, you know, Alabama and then Washington. So
yeah, just made Nick Saban retire.
Yeah,
so.
That's true, man. So I got to give a shout out to Jim Harbaugh, J.J. McCarthy, Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards. A lot of those guys, man, they kept it all together, and the coaching staff too. I mean, you know, Mike Hart to every last one of them when Harbaugh was out. And I do have to say this too: working in Lansing, you run into a lot of Spartans. Mm-hmm. My God, some diehard Spartan fans. And so we're in enemy territory pretty much every day when we're in session. And the top 2 leaders in the House, you got the Speaker of the House, Joe Tate, who's from Detroit. He played NFL, you know. I think his number was 68, I believe, at Michigan State. He was I believe all conference guard, I think. I can't remember what he played, but he played Michigan State, and then we got the majority floor leader in the House, Abraham Ayash, who's also a Michigan State grad. I'm a U of M grad, so it's great rubbing it in their faces.
And you also have the governor.
Yeah.
Who's also
Michigan State. But our lieutenant governor is a Michigan grad, too. So go blue. Shout out to all the electeds that are Michigan grads or just Michigan grads across the board. But I have to say this. The speaker brought the Michigan State football team at the beginning of the season to Lansing on the House floor, right? So I look at this, and I'm just seeing the site, right? And I'm like, okay, you know what? You guys are going down. You don't even realize it. And when we won 49-0, man, my heart was just fluttered, man. It was a blessing. But I told the speaker this after we won the championship. I said, hey, they going to the White House. Will you invite the University of Michigan Wolverine team to the floor? And, you know, he was like, he gave me this, you know, he was grinning. He gave me this little smile. And I was like, listen, I want Harbaugh's name everywhere. I want Block M's everywhere on the floor because we have to honor them, man. They did something that a lot of folks couldn't do. And, 15-0. 15-0. Man, we got to honor this team, man. They're freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
The best football I've ever seen in my life. I'm gonna be honest.
And the one thing that really occurred because of the fact that a lot of players came back.
Yeah.
To make sure that they had a job that they still
That's
need
true.
to finish.
They were hungry, man.
They were
hungry.
And
They
looking
wanted
at
it.
Blake Corum, that's one of the things that he was really attesting to.
Yeah.
Was the fact that, hey, we still had a job that we still had to do.
That's true.
And now my question to you real quick is, do you think the Harbaugh is going to be back?
Whew.
I mean, that's probably a question that probably the whole Congress up in Lansing.
I know everybody. I'm hoping so.
that.
I'm hoping so. I think he's getting a tattoo of like this year's team. I think it's going to say 15-0 or something like that. But I know J.J. McCarthy just announced that he's going to go to the draft. Same as Blake Corum. I think Donovan Edwards is probably going to do the same. So, a lot of our like core people that we go to are probably going to be going
to the NFL.
Yeah. So, and then you still got NCAA that want to put some violations on Michigan. So we'll see. I mean,
I heard that was the thing that they were thinking.
Yeah.
If J.D. McCarthy went to the pros, that he would probably go ahead on and leave, talking about Harbaugh, and leave and go to the pros because there's so many openings that he could look at. And I know he's interviewed already with the, I believe, the Chargers.
Yeah.
Had interviewed him, already. So the sky's the limit. I mean,
it is,
look at his brother. His brother's really got the team that everybody thinks is going to be the team to beat in the Super Bowl.
Baltimore Ravens, baby.
So Ravens look good as well.
Yeah.
But let's talk about, because we can talk about sports all
day,
for a whole
man.
show, right?
All day.
So the 14th district. Tell where the 14th district is at, and talk a little bit in terms, say, about you in terms of the committees that you represent.
Yeah. So my district covers. It goes from DeQuinder to the western border, Hoover to the eastern border, the southern border. It's a little south of East Davison, and it goes all the way north to 13 Mile. So I have northeast Detroit, parts of Warren, and then all of Centerline, a small little city that's surrounded by Warren. So it's a district of a little over 90,000, anywhere between 90 and 100,000 people, give or take. And, it's a 70% Macomb County district, population-wise. And so for those folks who don't know, I'm the first black ever to represent Macomb County in the state legislature. Myself, as well as a young lady named Kimberly Edwards. She has East Point, parts of Roseville, and then also a little bit of Detroit, too. And, we won every precinct in our election, in the primary as well as the general election. And, we had to go through a lot. I mean, we talked about it on the last show that I was a part of with you, Darwin. But this is a district that more than likely has to be changed. It was caught in a redistricting lawsuit because the courts ruled that it violated the Equal Protection Clause under the Voting Rights Act. And federal court said my district wasn't necessarily black enough. So, which is somewhat true. It's a majority white district, but I think it's a district that, geographically makes sense.
But the majority of the white population is in Warren?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's in Warren and Centerline. But, it's a working class district. I mean, a lot of those folks are living paycheck to paycheck. When I was campaigning, I can go out there and say, hey, you know what? You're living paycheck to paycheck. Your dollars are strapped. Guess what? I'm going through the same thing. And, there's some connections there. But some of these districts, I'm going to be honest with you, did not make sense. And that's where the courts were trying to get at, saying that, some of these districts need to be changed.
Well, now you mentioned about Speaker of the House, Joe Tate, earlier. Now, he was instrumental in getting a lot of committee assignments for you and other legislators.
Yes.
What are the committees that you represent?
Yeah, so I'm appropriations, which is your money committee. So if you need money, I'm your guy. Just call me and we can see what we can do to get you a meeting and let's pitch your idea and see what we can do to help at the state level. But I serve on the full appropriations committee, and then I serve on 5 subcommittees. And I'm co-chairing 2 of those subcommittees. So I'm on Labor, Economic and Opportunity Committee. I'm also on the subcommittee for agriculture and natural resources. I'm also on LARA and DIFS, which is your licensing, regulatory affairs, and your insurance. And I'm also on, I'm over the co-chairing the corrections budget with State Representative Amos O'Neill. He's out of Saginaw. And then I'm also co-chairing the EGLE subcommittee, which is our state's level EPA, pretty much, our environmental side. And that's co-chairing with Rachel Hood, State Rep Rachel Hood out of Grand Rapids. So, I have a lot of say in the budgetary process. And so I'm also the only person that lives in Detroit on the House Appropriations Committee. So when the Speaker of the House came to me, and he's from Detroit, he's like, Donovan, listen, I'm going to make sure that Detroiters are in key positions. Just like a Tyrone Carter, he's the chair of regulatory reform. Helena Scott, she's the chair of, the energy.
Right.
Yeah, energy and telecommunications. He said, hey, we're going to put you guys to work and put you guys in key positions to ensure that not only Detroit voices are heard, but, black voices are heard too, people of color. So I appreciate the Speaker for that. He gave me, a lot of opportunity to, flex and do what I need to do. And I'm going to be honest with you, this year's budget was freaking phenomenal. I put it to any other budget that the state has passed in the history. Like, this is the best budget by far for Detroit, for people of color, for communities that have been left behind.
So now, well, before I forget,
Yeah.
I do want to congratulate you on you're soon to be a father.
Oh,
the second
yeah.
time.
Yes.
So you want to give a shout out real quick, because I know I want you to be able to go home. And
Yeah, shout out to my amazing
and-
wife,
right.
Shantae McKinney. She holding it down. So we have a soon-to-be 2-year-old baby boy at home, Donovan Emmanuel, and he'll be 2 actually at the end of this weekend. So Sunday, the 21st, January 21st, and then my wife is going through her 3rd trimester right now. She's due with another one, which is it will be a boy. He's supposed to be due February 4th. However, she's already been through this process once. She feels like he's going to come a little earlier. So he could come any day now. She pretty much reached full term, so we're just waiting. We're waiting in the
Have you
wings.
picked the name out yet?
Yeah, so we're going to name him after her dad, her father, who literally was born and raised in Georgia, in a town called Dublin, which is between Macon and Savannah. And then he was actually born as a slave cropper. I don't know, or sharecropper, I should say. And a lot of folks don't even realize how close, in terms of generation, that gap is from going through so much turmoil back in the South. And so he enlisted in the military. After he did the military for a few years, he got honorably discharged, came up to Michigan. Like a lot of people migrated up north for better jobs and opportunities. He actually worked at Chrysler, which is the old engine plant in my district, 8 Mile and Mound. And he worked there for close to 40 years. And then when that plant shut down, he took that retirement package and just went back down south, built the house. But he developed what is called ALS, which is an autoimmune disease. And he was diagnosed less than 18 months ago. And he passed away, unfortunately, in August.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And it was because a lot of folks don't even realize this. When you talk to a lot of the elders in my district, we surround, I got like 9 Chrysler facilities in my district. And a lot of those folks who worked back in the day, we didn't really have OSHA laws that were followed, people that are really, maintaining those laws and making sure those people were healthy and those businesses were following, to the T, those environmental harms. And a lot of folks, if you talk to them, especially, in their 60s, 70s, 80s, they'll tell you, hey, I got MS, I got cancer, I got ALS. And a lot of it stems from working in the plant. And similar to what he had to go through. And it's sad to say, but we're going to, literally in the honor of his life, name our baby boy after him. So his name was Robert. So our son's first name is going to be Robert. The middle name we're going to keep biblical and name him Ezekiel. So Robert Ezekiel McKinney. Okay. So excited to meet him. And I feel like it's going to be, just a continuation of, his grandfather's and my wife's father's legacy.
That's just interesting hearing you say that. I'm excited to meet him.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet him, man.
That's good.
I'm excited to meet him, man, because he seems like he's always moving and stuff. So
he's probably anxious to meet his new family as well.
Yeah,
so.
And his older brother Donovan, like he's so excited. He knew my wife was pregnant before we did. Like literally, he was like, "Baby," and I'm like, "No, man, not yet." And then, kind of like a week later, she was like, "Yeah, I'm pregnant."
She's pregnant. Well, maybe I guess he might be able to predict some other things.
Yeah, that's true, man. Babies know.
You never know.
Yeah, they know.
But is there anything? Because we got about 5 minutes left. Is
Yeah.
there anything, Donovan, that you really would like to say to our viewing and listening audience? Pertaining to what you've got coming up in the upcoming year.
Yeah, so we're pushing some key legislation, one of them being police accountability, myself and State Senator Stephanie Chang, and as well as the whole entire Legislative Black Caucus. We're pushing ahead, looking at the polling, but also hosting community conversations. We hosted one right before the holiday, December 19th in Warren. And one thing about these new districts, they're loud conversations like this one, the hard, tough conversations, try to bring, different sides of 8 Mile together, as well as bridging the gap between the races, between white, black, yellow, brown, doesn't matter who you are. We all want good police, and we want to try to whittle out the bad ones. So we're looking at different legislation. It's been noted in the news. So, you can look up my name or Stephanie Chang's name or either police accountability. You'll see pretty much the progress that's been happening. Okay. And we should be able to drop those bills hopefully by the spring of this year. Another thing we're doing is water affordability. That's a big issue because people's water rates keep increasing, and a lot of it's stemming from bad debt that rolls over to people that have to pay for it. In reality, what we're trying to do is create a system where, those folks who can't afford the full water bill, make it affordable for them so they can pay into the system to try to limit that bad debt for rolling over so everybody can pay for it, So we're looking at a water affordability fund. We're trying to figure out how to supplement it and ensure that, because we believe that water is a human right. You can't do anything without water.
And you're absolutely right. Now, we've got a minute left. Let me ask this too. If somebody wants to get in contact with you regarding some of the different committees and the subcommittees what's your contact information? Yeah, so repmckinney.com, just REP McKinney, McKinney.com. People can go on that website and sign up for our newsletters. So we have something called like email blasts and e-newsletters. You'll get everything up to date what we're doing. So we're hosting so many community events. We just put out an end of the year mailer that highlighted some of our accomplishments from the House. And I'm going to tell you this, Darwin. We've been so hard working, I didn't even realize the House communications team, they tallied up how many meetings I hosted, how many meetings I attended. I've attended over 570 community-focused meetings. That's why we knew that you
570. And then we hosted over 45 from just our office, whether it's from town halls, coffee hours, different events, like just from our office in 1 year.
Well, see, that's why I'm going to have to have you back on again. Yeah. We've got to wrap up, but I'm going to have to have you back on again. Yeah. So there's so much that you do. There's so much you will do, and I'm proud of you. And I know continue to make not just myself but others. Yeah. Can I shout out my coffee hour real quick? Next coffee, January 26th, is going to be from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. at the Bush Library right there on 9 Mile and Ryan. Okay. So come out. I think it's a Friday. Me and Stephanie Chang, that's her next coffee hour. Okay. Yep. Well, I just want to say thank you, Donovan McKinney, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you. I do want to say one thing, that I want you to keep Adrian Jones lifted up in your prayers and your thoughts. But thank you in terms of say to Valerie Lockhart. If you'd like to advertise in the Detroit Native Sun newspaper, our sponsor, you can go and contact her at 313-457-5944. And if you want to advertise, you can contact her for that as well, too. But everybody have a great rest of this morning. Stay safe and definitely stay warm. Peace.
Here at the Full and Fabulous Curvy Girl Project, we don't just focus on health, beauty, and self-esteem. We also offer an amazing summer program for young ladies ages 12 to 18. For more information, visit our website at fullandfabulous.org. See you soon.